Anime Declassified is a podcast run by the Anime Secrets website. Check us out at animesecrets.org for more anime, video game, tokusatsu content. Remember to follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you listen to podcasts today.
Hey guys, Joshua Seth here, voice of Tai on Digimon, and you're listening to Anime Declassified.
Hello, everyone. So we're live on the Anime Secrets YouTube and Twitch because Frankie and I are bored and we have a lot of Dragon Ball Daima catching up to do. So
yeah, like what, 10 episodes, 11 episodes worth of catching up to do?
A lot. A lot. So we figured we're going to just do the reviews live, and then I'll cut them up into little pieces later on and put them on our YouTube channel like we normally do for the podcast. But we're going to just kind of talk through our thoughts just to get it out there into the ether. So, yeah. Frankie, how are you feeling about this entire venture we're about to go on to catch up on what? Almost 3 months of content because we've been busy with life?
Straight up. Low key. I didn't watch any of these episodes till last Monday.
I didn't watch any of these episodes until you messaged me and said, hey, I just got spoiled. I'm like, okay, don't tell me anything.
Pissed. I was pissed about that.
But when you texted me that, I actually didn't know what had happened, right? Like, I didn't know. But then, not even 2 minutes after you told me this, Frankie, I'm on Facebook doing my little scroll. And guess what I see?
Uh-huh.
You know what I saw.
I'm not going to tell you guys what we saw in case you haven't seen it, because I'm not a jerk.
Right. No, we're nice people. We're not going to spoil crap.
When we get to the review of the episode, we will. But
right. And for those of y'all that are wondering, no, this is not a Tokusatsu Super Sentai Power Ranger live stream.
Otherwise, I wouldn't be here.
Surprise. We're doing something anime related for Anime Secrets. So, strap in and let's have some fun.
Woohoo!
You ready for this, Frank?
Always.
All right. Let's do the actual first review then.
See how
we feel.
What?
Let's do the actual review then and see how we feel.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it live.
Anime Declassified is a podcast run by the Anime Secrets website. Check us out at animesecrets.org for more anime, video game, tokusatsu content. Remember to follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you listen to podcasts today.
Hey guys, Joshua Seth here, voice of Tai on Digimon, and you're listening to Anime Declassified.
And welcome back to another episode of Anime Declassified, where today Frankie and I will be taking a look at Dragon Ball Daima. We're going to be taking a look at episodes 9 through 13 and our desperate attempt to try and catch up on Dragon Ball Daima before the finale drops this coming Friday.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff we missed out on. Life's been kind of tough. Getting together has been not something we could do very easily over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But, hey, we're back.
For very similar reasons, actually.
You know, now that you mentioned it, Frankie, you are right.
But I'm gonna say this right off the bat.
Yeah.
For the audience, in most of the Dragon Ball Daima reviews, I'm pretty active with the plot synopsis. I'm relying on him. I don't remember anything.
I remember a good bit of it, to be honest with you. But so Dragon Ball Daima had a really interesting part where I just fell off after episode 8. Because, okay, so let's break it down real quick. In a quick nutshell, where we are right now, because it has been about 3 months since we've last done this, Frankie. So as a quick nutshell of what have we done so far? Goku and Croup have been turned into kids by Goma, who is the person from the Demon World, after he reviewed the Majin Buu fight at the end of Dragon Ball Z. Cool. Okay. So they've turned to kids. Goma kidnapped Dende, brought him to the Demon World. Goku and Supreme Kai have entered the Demon World with a guide from the Demon World named Glorio. Glorio is from the second Demon World, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he was from the third Demon World.
Third Demon World. Yeah, you're right.
I think it's third.
Yeah, you're right. No, there's something they said in episode 19 that confirms that, actually. So you're right. So he comes in, guides them, and they soon discover upon getting to the Demon World that, hey, they have Dragon Balls in the Demon World that they could use to get back to being adults, which would infinitely help them deal with the threat of Goma, which honestly not really a threat. So the key difference of this set of Dragon Balls, there are a couple. Number one, there are 3 Dragon Balls, not 7. That's important. The second thing is, these things are being guarded by Tamagami, which, if you look at the history of all the other Dragon Ball sets, this has never been done before. They've always just been, oh, hey, you find it, you gather them, you put them together, bada bing, bada boom, you call Senron or Purunga, and they come grant your wish, and then they scatter to the far reaches of the planet or the universe, depending on what set of Dragon Balls you're talking about. But in this case, you got to actually fight the Tamagami. And so in the first 8 episodes, you got a lot of build-up, kind of exploring the world of the Demon World. It's split into 3 areas, World 3, 2, and 1. We're in World 3 at the end of episode 8, where we stop podcasting. And at the end of episode 8, Goku laid down the law on the first Tamagami, because up until this point, Goku and crew have not had a single bit of opposition or anything. It's just been straight up just them going through a Demon World and him not having any challenge because everyone's too weak for him to be even a problem. And that's why I got a little bored. Honestly, Frankie, that's why I was getting bored. He had no competition.
And even until, I hate to say this, but I'm gonna. Goku and crew don't really struggle until the end of the show.
No, they start to struggle a little bit more around episode 16 or 17, which is not quite the end of the show, but we're getting to that point, right? Like, yeah. But there's some weird stuff that starts happening after episode 9, and I kind of started to assume that.
Yeah, because I think if we left off, they were like making a new. We both assumed they were making another Majin Buu, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Right, because if you remember from the last podcast, I think we even ranted about this, that we've already brought back Frieza and Super. We already brought back Cell in the movie I haven't seen yet, and now we're laying the foundation to bring back Majin Buu. And let me be the first to say, Frankie, boy, were we wrong about what they ended up doing.
I mean, we were and we weren't.
No, we were wrong. It wasn't Majin Buu. You have to be technically correct.
It's Majin Buu. I'm sorry.
That's spoilers, but we'll get to that when we get to that, Frank. So anyway, at the end of episode 8, they get the first of the 3 Dragon Balls, and Goku and crew are starting to make plans to head to Second Demon World to take a look at getting the next Dragon Ball. So they go stay in a hotel that night, and they have these 2 nondescript, not important thieves attempt to steal the Dragon Ball from them.
What is with this show and thieves trying to steal Goku's stuff? This is the second time this has happened.
And it's not the last time it happens either. But, like, I don't get it. You're right. It's becoming a recurrent thing.
And it doesn't last for long because Goku just goes and beats them up.
Literally, he just hit them once and it's over with.
It's ridiculous.
So Goku goes off trying to find him. Luckily, Pansy, the daughter of the third Demon World's daughter, has placed a tracking device on the bag that they're keeping the Dragon Ball in, and that's how they find the Dragon Ball for Goku to go back and retrieve. Go ahead, Frank. What were you going to say?
I love Pansy. I think she's absolutely precious.
Honestly, C is what you would get if Tsitsi and Bulma were one person.
Oh god, Patara Fusion, Shishi, and Bulma would be Pansy.
It would be Pansy. There's no two ways about that. That's just the thing. So
I love her.
I do too. She's precious. If she dies, I'll riot. End of story.
Yeah. She's like top 2 female characters for me right now, along with Eve from Invincible, but we could talk about that another day.
Yeah, definitely. So they defeat the thieves within like a minute. Not even worth talking about the fight. Nothing important happened.
They just get beat up by Goku. That's all it is.
Yeah. Now, Pansy gets informed that the group with Vegeta, Piccolo, and Bulma have made it to Demon World with their guide, Hybis. And Frankie, I know you don't like Hybis, but I adore this character.
I want to punch him in his stupid face.
I know you do, but I love this guy. He's like, hilarious.
He reminds me of Andy. And ugh.
You know, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
They force him into the plot later, and I'm just like, ugh.
Right? So, yeah, no, it's just Hybis is a guy. I like him. He's funny. He's the epitome of the bored guy who just wants to go on his date and have his own life, but he's getting dragged into all kind of hijinks against his will. And so,
sounds like Yamcha.
No, I like him better, honestly.
You like? Oh, come on.
I like Hybis more than Yamcha. At least he has character. What is Yamcha's character, Frankie? Let's be real about that.
Yamcha has the Wolf Fang Fist. All right, you don't mess with the Wolf Fang Fist.
When we get to the end of the season, we will talk about this again, because I'm not going to say what I want to say right now. But anyway, at a restaurant where Hybis, Vegeta, and group are all together, Vegeta starts beating up on some thugs.
Because of course he does. Because he's Vegeta.
No, because they stole Hybis' sip.
Yeah, no, so like Goku was like, "Oh, we can't fit you in our ship, bye," and now Vegeta's annoyed.
Yeah, so Hybis asked Pansy to come over and pick them up. Goku and crew come to meet up with Hybis and them. So this is the first time in like 9 episodes that you have Vegeta, Goku, and Piccolo all in one room. And
also, this isn't really relevant, but Gohan is nowhere to be seen in the show.
Yeah, I've already explained.
Kind of bothers me.
Yeah, because he's either a baby or he's doing something else altogether. I think he's just turned into a baby.
Probably, but I like Gohan's one of my favorite characters. I like seeing him.
I agree. No, so for those that don't remember from the podcast, I think it was in October. I have to go back and look at the dates, but
Has it been that long?
Since I met Kyle Aber, yeah.
Oh, I thought since we did a review.
No, since I saw Kyle Aber. Because Kyle Aber was at a convention here in Houston called Animeverse Fest in Pasadena. And during his panel, he did mention that he wasn't contacted for anything to do with Dragon Ball Daima, which to me kind of solidified that we're not going to see Gohan ever.
Yeah, he's just
in this.
No, I don't think so. And with only one episode left, the Unless he's a cameo in the background at the end of the fucking the end of the last episode or something.
And there's my first Dragon Dagger.
Yeah, if he's in a cameo at the end of the last episode, great.
Right.
But I think that's the most we're going to see of Gohan.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. Honestly, I'm okay with that. Because this doesn't need to revolve around Gohan, because we have Goku and Vegeta, and they're enough to kind of carry us through this.
Well, I mean, the problem with that I have with that is that's all Super was, too. Was just Goku and Vegeta. Let's just call a spade here.
No, you're right. You're right about that. But also, to me, Gohan never really... Like, he was a great character when he was a kid.
Watch Superhero.
Okay, I'll watch Superhero at some point. Maybe we'll do a review on that next week.
Because that's a Gohan redemption story.
Okay, because all I'm going to say is after he defeats Cell, Gohan got really boring for me. I'm sorry.
No, he did, but we can do a whole character analysis of Gohan eventually.
Like, the Buu saga itself was just super boring to me.
The Buu saga drags.
Well, okay, because they focus on Goku and Vegeta, and Gohan was kind of off studying or being this great Saiyaman. I was like,
well,
okay.
It starts with Gohan at the beginning. Like, it focuses on Gohan for a while.
Yeah.
And then when Majin Buu actually shows up, it's like, oh, it keeps switching who the hero actually is. It drove me nuts.
Yeah.
Because it was Gotenks, then it was Gohan, then it was Vegito, and then it was Goku. And yeah.
Too much stuff going on, right?
Yeah. But anyway, back to Daima.
Yeah, so back to Daima. Goku and Kuro are like, nah, we can't take you in our ship. We literally have no room for you. We're over capacity, so you gotta just wait for the next one. Bye. They just left him. So, okay, here's my question on episode 9. We didn't need that entire scene. We didn't need this to happen.
No, we didn't. No, it just seemed like unnecessary filler.
Yeah.
And can't they fly?
Yeah, I don't know. But this episode ends with Marba completing her new creature, which we thought was going to be Majin Buu. But she actually does some stuff that I really want to dig into here, Frankie.
Yeah, how does she get the seed of a Cyberman?
Okay, so let me just get it out, then we can talk about this, because I have questions right now. Okay, so Marba takes a seed of a Cyberman, which we have not seen since the Saiyan saga in early Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, and it's been a long time.
She grows a Majin with that.
This is what Ku would do.
This is Ku. This is the skinny one.
Okay. I don't know. I can't remember which one is which.
Okay. So she had the option of putting 2 seeds in to make an OP Majin. But she decided to play it safe, bury the seed like half of what they do for the second round. Spoilers. So I think they buried it like 5 centimeters in, and then they did their magic. And we get Majin Ku. Now, Majin Ku looks like Skinny Buu, but is green because he has Cyberman's DNA.
Now, here's my question. I always just assumed Cybermen were aliens. Because, the Saiyans had them. This implies they're originally from the demon realm.
Correct.
How did the Saiyans get them?
I'm assuming that one of the different demon groups that left the demon world, because remember, Namek's left, the Glenn's left, right? So one of these different groups probably brought the seeds with them.
Probably sold it to Frieza.
And sold it off. And just sold it off, and they bounced around, they grew more. And at some point, the seeds ended up in the hands of the Saiyans.
Most likely, they ended up in the hands of Frieza.
Probably.
And Frieza was just like, here, use these things, because they worked for Frieza at the time.
Yeah. But, okay, so we're going to park here, because the rest of episode 9 is just the beginning of Aransu telling Majin Ku, to go defeat the first world Tamagami. which is the beginning of the
Uh,
next episode. But anyway, we're gonna park here, Frankie,
okay.
because do you remember when I texted you in our chat saying, "Hey, Frank, we need to talk about
Yeah.
this"?
Yes.
This is what I wanted to talk about. Everything else that you assumed I was wanted to talk about, no. I want to talk about this.
You want to talk about Majin Buu? Okay.
I want to talk about no. In general,
Okay.
the recipe of let's take the Majin essence and let's take a Cyberman seed and let's make a green Majin. Question number 1. Because you and I have both seen Dragon Ball Z more often than not.
Yes.
You more than me. The Cybermen only appear in the Saiyan Saga when Nappa uses them to one time, and they're super weak.
Yeah, they get killed by Krillin.
Right. So they're not even that strong. So why would people in the demon world opt to use Cybermen as part of the basic ingredient blocks to create a Majin?
I have an idea.
Okay, hit me.
So Majin Buu, like original Kid Buu, was completely wild and chaotic, and nobody could control him. So I wonder if that's why they used the Cyberman seed, because it was weaker, and Dr. Arinsu would be more likely to control that than Kid Buu. It's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
because Majin Buu was a wild card.
Yeah. But see, on the other hand of that, like, so while I'm actively questioning why did we need this, on the other hand, I'm kind of applauding Daima for doing this pullback to,
Daima is doing a lot of old school callbacks, explaining more of the Namekians, now more of the Majins. The whole creation of the universe.
They're doing a lot of world building here, and I'm actually all for it. I think this world building is really cool.
Yeah, no, I'll give you that one.
But I just the Cyberman?
I never expected to ever see, outside of video games, I never expected to see anything Cyberman related again.
No, never. But here we are. We have a whole Majin with the essence of a Cyberman or whatever.
Yeah. It's not what was on my bingo card. I fully expected just a second Majin Buu. But...
Dude, I don't even know. I have no idea what to say right now other than
Majin Buu.
Yeah, so I honestly I saw the screenshots on Reddit for Majin Buu and Majin Buu later when we get to that.
I think it's the next episode, isn't it?
Something like that. But I assumed very incorrectly that this is all like fan art or maybe AI or something.
Nope.
No, it was real. We had a green skinny Buu for episode 9.
Seeing anything Buu related green is really strange.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it's not weird outside of... I mean, Xenoverse does it too when you can make a Majin character, but, that's a video game.
Yeah.
Not canon. So.
Yeah. But with that, this episode ends with them having Ku face off against the first world Tamagami. And episode 10 begins with that challenge underway.
No, it's no challenge. Majin Buu just gets his butt whooped.
He does. I'm going to summarize episode 10 really quickly on that storyline. Ku fights the Tamagami, gets his butt whooped, comes back to Eren Sue and company and says, "Hey, I did my best, but I'm not strong enough to beat him." Which gets Eren Sue and everyone else to say, "Okay, we got to do something else here." And so Ku starts to defend himself, saying, "Hey, but I'm still pretty strong. Keep me around. I'm really smart, like super stupid smart, like
And
really smart."
that will come into play later.
It's very useful later on, honestly. I thought it was pretty well done, but again, we'll get to that later on.
Actually, I want to point something out too.
Yeah.
Majin Ku isn't necessarily evil, I don't think.
No, but I also think that the line of good and evil in Daima is not as clear cut as it has been in the past.
I mean, no, there's Goma is evil.
No, Goma is evil, but what I'm talking about is the rest of the cast. Everyone else is kind of different shades of good and bad to me.
Yeah.
There's
except maybe Glorio and Pansy. They clearly lean one more on one side over the other.
We'll get to Glorio later, but Pansy I'll give you.
Yeah.
Glorio I have my thoughts on. Or as Goku says, Golorio or
he can
Glirio.
Never get his name right.
The entire time he's sitting there like, Galorio, Glario.
It's Glorio.
And Gloria's like, God, this kid. Okay. Elsewhere in episode 10, Goku and company, excluding Vegeta and group because they didn't take Vegeta with them, have hit the second demon world and are under attack by the Gendarmerie again.
Doesn't Goku, I remember, doesn't Goku just break all their ships? He's like, no, screw you guys.
No, Goku breaks all the ships, and a kraken from under the water comes and eats their own ship.
That thing scared the crap out of me.
I was very entertained by this thing.
I don't know what it is about sea monsters that freaks me out.
Interesting. I never knew that about you.
Neither did I until recently. Subnautica broke me.
Okay. So, the Kraken drags a ship underwater. Pansy, being an absolute boss, hops into water after the ship. And I'm sitting there thinking, is Pansy going back for her teddy bear? Is Pansy going back for supplies? What is he going back for?
I was like, Pansy, just let it go. Just let it go.
I was like, why do you want your teddy bear that badly? I don't understand. But then she surprised me because she comes back up with the Dragon Ball with Goku's help. And I was like, oh, these idiots never actually picked up the Dragon Ball on their way out when they were all evacuating. They just left the Dragon Ball for the Kraken to eat.
See, this is why Pansy is best girl.
Yes. This is why I agreed with you. So now Goku and company are in the same boat that they left Vegeta's group in, and now they're like telling Hybis, Bulma, Vegeta, and Piccolo, "Hey, remember us? We kind of need a ride." And instead of like Vegeta wanted nothing more, Frankie, than to just say, "Screw it. Let's leave them behind and let's go on."
Yeah.
Now, something to mention. The place where they meet up with Goku and them is on the OG Namek's homeworld. So Namek OG, I'm going to call it, I guess. I don't know.
It looks a lot like Planet Namek.
It does. It looks exactly like Namek. Which I think they even have a throwaway line there saying that they took a lot of vegetation and wildlife from Namek.
I think Neva, the old Namekian, said that.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. So they talk about Namek's situation, and at the end of the episode, they come across Neva, who is walking up to them, and they stop to see what Neva wants. Other things that happen in this episode is we do get a nice little exposition by Supreme Kai about how the multiple universes are created by a Majin named Rymus, which leads to the establishment of Supreme Kai's, which leads to, I think, okay, King Abura, the guy who preceded Dabura. I originally thought Abura was going to be Dabura's father, but I guess I'm wrong about that.
I think they're siblings. No, I think Dabura is his son.
Okay, he is?
Yeah, I think he just was like, hey, Dad, screw you, and took over.
Yeah. But these two are the reason why the Lind species, including Sin and the other Supreme Kais, left the demon world. And he also reveals that, hey, there are 5 trees that Lind are born from. And these 5 trees have died, so they can no longer create more of the Lind. So at some point, when the Supreme Kai die, there is not going to be another round of them.
Oh boy.
Right. And that's where episode 10 leaves off. And I just want to say, Frankie, again, the world building we're getting here is really, in my opinion, really awesome.
Yeah, no, I do like how they're explaining more of the lore. Part of me wishes they did more with like the Gods of Destruction lore here, but that would kind of break Super's continuity.
It would. And
Goku's not supposed to know about Gods of Destruction until Battle of Gods, so.
Right. But I think there's still stuff that can happen in the finale, but we'll get there later, right?
Yeah.
So, moving on, episode 11 begins with Neva attempting to be senile, and Piccolo's like, nah, dude, we're not having it. You ain't senile. You know what you're doing.
Piccolo can see right through him.
Piccolo be like, yo, dude, don't even play with me. Don't even. So, Neva confesses his part in helping Goma turn everyone into kids, and he lets everyone know, hey, Dende's okay. We're just kind of keeping Dende because we need another Namek just in case. And he also explains that he created the Tamagamis because he wanted to ensure that the Dragon Balls of the Demon World were used by the correct people. And the Tamagamis would throw off anyone else that they felt were not worthy of it. I have some thoughts on that when we get to the end of that. When we get to the next round of battles with the Tamagamis, I have something to say about all that.
Yeah, because that's almost immediately thrown out the window.
And Neva forces himself to be useful to the group by revealing, hey, you need me, because I speak Namekian and Piccolo doesn't, to even operate Dragon Balls. Which is very in line with the Namekian Dragon Balls on Planet Namek, because you could only activate them with Namekian language, and that's how you brought Purunga about. So it's interesting that that's a thing.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, back in the mad lab of Arensu, Marba, and Ku, they have created a more powerful, a more unstable, and a very reminiscent version of Majin Buu named Majin Du.
And just like Majin Buu, he loves chocolate.
Yes. And Frankie, you might hate me for this. You might disown me for this, but I gotta make the joke. We have a Majin Du, we have a Majin Ku. My Star Wars brain is saying we have Dooku.
Oh my god. I'm waiting for the brown one called Majin Buu.
What?
What?
No, we don't need that.
I think we do.
No, we don't. Please, no. No.
It would be really funny.
No. But yeah, so like Frankie said, you gotta Majin Du's power comes from how much chocolate he can eat. So Ku is running off and getting chocolate for Du because Ku regards Du as a brother or family or whatever you want to call it. So Du challenges the first world Tamagami and is powerful enough to keep an even battle going with the first world Tamagami.
Did we forget about the Demon Ginyu Force?
That's later.
Oh, is that later? Okay.
That's much later, dude. That's much later.
All right.
We will get to what I have lovingly called the Dollar General Discount Bargain Bin Ginyu Force. We'll get to that when we get to that. But no, we have
Alright.
not forgotten about them. I'm just not there yet.
Alright.
So while Do is fighting the first World Tamagami, Goku and company get to the second World Tamagami, and Vegeta begins the battle with it. And so now we have this nice back and forth cutting from first world to second world, where we see Vegeta taking on one Tamagami, and we see Do taking on the other Tamagami. And honestly, Frankie, these battles are gorgeous. I love the battle scenes in this
That
anime
is
a lot.
something I can't take away from Daima. The animation is mwah, chef's kiss.
Exactly. So while the battle's going on, Goma is tuned into the second world Tamagami battle, and they're just amazed at how powerful Vegeta is. And episode 11 ends with a Kraken swallowing Vegeta. Because remember, they're still on the second demon world, and they have Krakens there.
Yes.
And that's where episode 11 ends. And by the way, in this course of the battle, Vegeta does go Super Saiyan, which is kind of cool.
It is.
But episode 12 begins with Vegeta getting himself rid of Kraken by going Super Saiyan 2. So now Goku and Vegeta have hit the same level of power in Daima. Both of them have hit Super Saiyan 2 in story. Elsewhere, Do is still fighting. Ku keeps feeding him chocolate. He defeats the first world Tamagami to earn the Dragon Ball. And the Tamagami, just like in the case of the third world Tamagami, they have a challenge after the battle. So this is a consistent thing, Frankie.
Yeah, you have to beat them, and then you have to do like a quiz or something.
Yeah. So I think this is part of Neva's plan to keep it out of the wrong people, because you got to do a battle of the brawn and a battle of the brains somehow. The problem is, Dude's a freaking idiot.
And this is where Ku's intelligence comes into play.
Yeah. So the Tamagami throws out more numbers than you can keep up with on the TV screen, and bigger numbers than you can keep up with on the TV screen. And he says he wants the sum of all these numbers. And Do is just looking at the Tamagami and back at his boss and back at the Tamagami, and he's like, what? And then Ku whispers the correct sum to Do, who recites it, winning the Dragon Ball. So yay.
I guess Ku had to be good for something.
Look, Ku had his use, all right? Ku had a good use somewhere along the way, and this is the good use.
Yeah.
So yeah, they win the first World Dragon Ball, and Goma and Degasu see this happening, and they're like, what is Aaron C doing? What is going on here? Meanwhile, Vegeta also defeats his Tamagami by going Super Saiyan 3.
For the first time.
And Goku's just sitting there like,
when did he learn to do that?
What is this? What is this nonsense? You don't know how to do that. And Bulma's like, do you really think he hasn't learned anything in all the time he trains on his own while you're off eating? And Goku's like, you're right. So in this case, this isn't another case of doing more summations or whatever. In this case, the Tamagami is telling Vegeta to solve a word problem. And Frankie, I don't even know what the story is anymore. It's something about a snake eating some biscuits, and
it was. But then he traded biscuits with this guy, and then he wanted to give more biscuits to that guy. So how many did one of them eat?
Yeah. So at the end of it,
so stupid.
It was like this long convoluted story of, hey, this guy had some cookies. He gave some cookies to this guy. He gave half to this guy. He gave a quarter to that guy. And then somebody stole cookies from these two people and gave it to this other guy. And at the end, the snake has the cookies. How many cookies did the snake eat? And Vegeta is just standing there, and he very nonchalantly says, snakes don't eat cookies. And so the answer is 0.
That
and
was
he's
hilarious.
correct. Which I thought was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. So the episode ends with them, Vegeta's group being the them I'm talking about here, making plans to start heading towards Demon World 1, unaware that the first Dragon Ball has already been claimed by Erinsu and Majin Du, with Majin Ku.
Yeah.
So we're on the last episode for this Bachelor review, and this is where Goma is starting to freak out. Because now Goku's team has 2 Dragon Balls. Erinsu and Du have 1 Dragon Ball. All the Dragon Balls are off the table. The Tamagamis have failed. And so Goma tells Degasu, hey, go disable all the warp lords between the different demon worlds so that nobody can travel. And Goku is trying his level best to get from second world to first world. And shenanigans happen, and he loses consciousness in the attempt because the warp just does stuff to him. And he's falling towards uncertain doom. Because that portal, the barrier, is just gonna destroy him. There's no 2 ways about it.
Oh, yeah.
But Neva is gonna... Okay, so this is where it gets kind of annoying. And this is where Frank and I think we're both raging. When the plane crashes and Goku's having this trouble, they land on this planet full of giant monsters. And they discover a giant hamster and a giant demon child. And when I say giant, I mean giant. Their race of people are called Megath, which is a play on mega big people.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just... It's like, what was that? Okay, it's like Gulliver's Travels, right? It's like where you have these small people and they encounter this giant man named Gulliver. And Gulliver is just living his life, not really even aware that there's small people down there. And they just have to do something about him.
What was the point of this?
It was really annoying. I didn't like it. But I will say, this could have been a lot easier than what they made it out to be. I don't for a single second think that a Super Saiyan 3 Goku and a Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta could not have just kicked ass and taken names at this point.
Well, I'm
right?
sure
Like,
they could have. It was dumb.
It was,
and I hated it.
It was really stupid. I'm not going to even bother trying to go into the details of this part because I don't care enough. It was a bad episode. But it basically ends with them escaping the little kid and his dog and escaping the planet. And they are left wondering what the heck is going to happen next. And this is where this segment of the review will probably end, Frank. Because next time, in our next segment, we're going to be taking a look at Goku and team entering the first demon world and the final showdown beginning.
Yay, stuff happens.
Right?
Oh my god, now, like, I tried so hard during these, when I was watching these episodes. It was a struggle to stay awake.
It was. I had some issues as well with this. I just couldn't... I liked the lore building. I liked the world building. But if I'm being honest with you, the only thing that kept me interested was the lore building and the fight scenes. All this stuff about the giant kid the giant dog and all that crap.
That whole giant thing was. Ugh.
Also, can we take a second to talk about the fact that these are not even the biggest creatures in the demon world? There's actually a planet with people bigger than these things.
Yeah, Giga something?
Yeah, Giga something, exactly.
So, we'll see.
Yeah. But that is the end of this set of episodes that we're reviewing. I personally would say at this point, Dragon Ball Daima is very solidly in the C to B range for me.
I'm gonna give it I'm gonna stay in the C range for now. I'm gonna wait to see how it finishes. Because the last couple episodes are really good, and I thought the beginning was solid, but this middle chunk,
Oof.
It's been rough.
Yeah. But yeah, stay tuned for our next podcast where we look at the next set of episodes for Dragon Ball Daima. But until then, I'm Rizwan and that's Frankie. Thanks for listening in, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace out, all.
Adios.
Okay, Frankie. I think I can actually do another round of these.
Okay.
What do you think?
I ain't got shit to do, bro.
Okay. Because I am totally down to do another set of these. And then maybe we can just do 18 and 19, like, later.
So what did we just do up to?
We went up until 13.
Okay.
So we can do 14 up until 17. So 3 more episodes.
All right.
Yes, Miguel, we are supposed to be live. We're doing this entire podcast recording live because why the heck not? Miguel's watching us on Twitch, and Ake is on YouTube watching this.
Oh, good.
Yeah. But yeah, no, we're just doing this live because I wanted to get some, whatever. But yeah, so we can do that and then wrap it up.
Excellent.
Yeah. All right, ready?
As ready as I'll ever be.
Let's go.
Anime Declassified is a podcast run by the Anime Secrets website. Check us out at animesecrets.org for more anime, video game, tokusatsu content. Remember to follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you listen to podcasts today.
Hey guys, Joshua Seth here, voice of Ty on Digimon, and you're listening to Anime Declassified.
And welcome to another episode of Anime Declassified, hosted by Rizwan Merchant and Frankie Hallsworth, where today we're going to be taking a look at Dragon Ball Daima episodes 14 through 17. And Frankie, I just want to start off by saying that, just to kind of do a quick recap from last time, things are a little bit rough around the edges for some of what we're getting in Daima, but overall, I am enjoying it.
I mean, I like it on a superficial level because, like, it's beautiful. I love new Dragon Ball content on a superficial level. But objectively, it hasn't been the strongest arc.
No, not at all. But as a quick recap, not going to go into much detail. Last time when we left off, Goku and company had reunited with Vegeta, Piccolo, and Bulma, and they're all together. They found the OG Namek planet. They met Neva, who is the elder Namek who helped Goma in the beginning with all the turning him into kids and all that. And Vegeta faced off against the second Tamagami. beat him using Super Saiyan 3, and got the second world Dragon Ball. Meanwhile, in the first world of the Demon Realm,
Can I just say, Vegeta at Super Saiyan 3 looks very strange. I don't know what it is.
I think it's the forehead.
It doesn't work for Vegeta. Granted, I don't think it works that well for Goku either. I think Super Saiyan 3 is dumb. But I like
think it's the
Goku
hair.
better.
I think it's the hair.
But I do think it looks better on Goku.
Yeah. But anyway, back into the first Demon World, Arensu has created, using Cybermen seeds and Majin Essence, a new team of Majin. One is Majin Ku, who is basically Skinny Boo, but green because of Cybermen bean stuff. And then there's Majin Do, who is basically Majin Buu down to the chocolate love, but he's green and Cyber Beans.
Yeah.
And so they tried using Ku before they made Do to get the Dragon Ball from the first world. They failed, so they made Do, which is how to get the first world Dragon Ball. And now Goma's kind of freaking out. He disabled the Warp Sama, and Goku has to get his group through to First Demon World. So, here we are. Anything you want to add?
No, I'm good, actually.
Okay. In that case, episode 14, Taboo. So, Pansy has given her quick little report back to the kingdom saying, hey, we're going to try and get to the First Demon World now. If you want to, send your people out to come meet us, to her father, because they have their own elite group of people. The Gesu, in his infinite wisdom, has decided to tell Goma, hey, you're worried about these people coming to take our Dragon Balls and defeating us and all that? Let's call in what he calls the Gendamari Force.
Toku Sentai.
The reason I'm laughing, I know what you're going for here, but the reason I'm laughing is because the Gendamari Force is nothing more than a Dollar General discount bargain bin iteration of the Ginyu Force. And for our tokusatsu fans in the audience who are listening in, this is a play on Super Sentai because you got 5 of these guys wearing their armor, and they do like some interesting moves to fight. And it's basically a callback to Sentai in a way.
Oh, so the Ginyu Force is a parody of Sentai.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Goku makes fun of the movements and is like, boom, okay, you guys are doing these stupid poses. You're leaving yourselves wide open.
Yeah.
That means, Mr. Aka, you're going to hate Dragon Ball because they make fun of Toku.
Yeah. No. So...
No, Dragon Ball was not inspired by Super...
Anyway, so Goma is very unimpressed by the Gendamari Force because, let's be real, everyone's very underwhelmed by this group of people. They have nothing of worth in them at all. They don't even... Okay, so I'm going to go on a quick rant here, Frankie, and I know you're going to back me up on this one. I honestly cannot even remember the names of these 5 idiots in the Gendamari Force.
Because they're nobody characters.
At least with the Ginyu Force. I remember Captain Ginyu, Birder, Jace,
Raccoon and Guldo, yes.
There you go. I was trying to remember Guldo's name.
Well, Guldo was useless.
Excuse me, I like Guldo.
He got his head blown off by Vegeta and couldn't even beat Krillin. He was useless.
Excuse me, I like him because he had the time travel thing or whatever. The time stop thing.
He could stop time by breathing or holding his breath. It was really weird.
It was really weird, but it was still funny. It was still interesting. Jace was just a British guy.
You can have your wrong opinion. It's fine.
Well, I'll admit that one. So, yeah, they tell these discount Dollar General bin people to guard the palace from Goku's group in case they come and get past the disabled Warp Lord, which they shouldn't be able to do to begin with, because you can't get to this world without Warp Lord. Except, spoilers, Goku's team does. And the way they do it...
Of course they do!
Yeah. So anyway, back in Demon World 2, Goku is looking at the Warp Lord being unresponsive and being like, yo, why aren't you doing anything? So he uses his power pole to try and poke Warp Lord, which gets him electrocuted and he falls unconscious. Neva intervenes and magically opens the tunnel as Goku is slow motion falling towards the electrocuted energy thing that's about to dissipate him. And Goku wakes up just in time to float up as the portal opens. And for the first time in what I imagine is a millennia, all 3 demon worlds are now open for travel with no restriction by Warp Lord. Yay. And some more lore building here, which I thought was kind of interesting. Neva is the one who created the Warp Sama, Warp Lord, whatever, to basically help keep the different demon worlds separate, because he didn't want the first world snobs or the third world ruffians to go mess up the second demon world, which is where he's from. So in an act of self-preservation, he created Warp Sama to protect his own Namekian family. And episode essentially ends with the Ginyu Light discount bargain bin group meeting Du and Ku at the convenience store, because of course, Frankie, there is a convenience store in the demon world for them to buy chocolate from. I don't understand, but whatever. And they attempt to buy Du and Ku some chocolate, but they're also low on money, so they can't actually buy chocolate for them. And the episode ends with Goma learning of the arrival of everyone, and he's ordering his men to attack.
So my grandpa was having phone issues because he's an old fart, and that's why I disappeared for a couple minutes.
That's fine. I'll edit that part out. So yeah, episode ends with Goma learning of the arrival of everyone, and he tells all his men to go attack the group as they attempt to make their way into Demon World 1.
Oh, it was an all-on assault, man.
It was. And so episode 15 opens, and once again, Frankie, I'm a little confused. And here's why I'm confused. I don't understand why Goku and group would even struggle against the normal foot soldiers, and even if there's a bunch of them, just go Super Saiyan 2 and kick ass and take names, right? Like, there's no reason for this.
The only thing I can think of, honestly, is it was just never-ending waves that eventually you get tired.
Yeah, but still. Dude, Kamehameha one group, Final Floss another group.
And then Light Grenade the other ones, Piccolo. You got powers too. Like, come on.
Yeah, Piccolo's been useless the entire time. What has he done so far? Honestly.
He kicked one guy in the back of the head.
He's done nothing, Frankie.
That's all I can think of is he kicked somebody. Like, remember when Vegeta was beating up all those bandits? Piccolo hit one of them.
I know what you're talking about, because I remember seeing that. I'm like, dude, come on.
Granted, I know he's weaker than Goku and Vegeta, but come on, man.
Okay, no, if we're going to talk about that, let's talk about that. In the grand scheme of things, obviously Goku is the most powerful being in the Z Fighters roster, followed very closely by Vegeta. After that, I started having debates between Piccolo and Gohan, but Piccolo is not as weak as he's led to be, as we're led to believe.
At this point in the story, Gohan is stronger than Piccolo.
Okay, I'll buy that because my memory of the Buu saga is kind of crap, to be honest with you.
Oh, Gohan was way stronger than Piccolo in the Buu saga.
Okay, well in that case, but even then, Piccolo ain't that bad.
No, he's still Super Saiyan level. Like
he's probably at around Super Saiyan 2 level at this point.
If he's probably very close at the very least, yeah.
Yeah, I mean I wouldn't say he's like full on Super Saiyan 2 level of power, but he ain't that bad off, man. He's doing good.
No, he's strong. Piccolo's strong.
Yeah, he's better than Krillin.
Most people are, except Yamcha.
We're gonna ignore Tien.
Okay, Krillin's better than Tien, yeah. And Chaozu.
Chaozu's a clown. He has nothing of value.
I don't think he actually exists, but that's a whole
That sounds like another podcast topic on its own.
Yeah. Anime Secrets is Chaozu, a figment of Tien's imagination. Coming soon.
Honestly, we might have to do that someday now. Okay, but back to the actual episode 15 and away from our deviations, as you will.
Yes.
In the video feed, because Goma has a video feed for everything, he notices Hybis. And he notices Hybis has a belt buckle. And previous to this, in an episode at some point in the past, I don't remember which one,
Bulma mentioned having a living eyeball on a belt buckle.
and Hybis is like, yeah, I found this cool thing and I put on a belt buckle because why not? Completely unaware that this eyeball is a legendary artifact called a third eye, also known as the Tertian Oculus. And that this artifact was owned by Abura. For those that don't remember, that's Dabura's father. And this artifact can amplify your power and is the source of all power for like the Supreme Demon Lord or whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
And up until Dabura decides to steal it from his father, that's where the eye was. Then Dabura steals it, but the thief that he hired to steal it hid it somewhere in the third demon world before getting killed by some rando native.
But he just got his head beaten.
Yeah. So this eye is just chilling in the third demon world where Hybis, for all intents and purposes, Frankie, I'm just going to ad-lib this part because it doesn't really matter. But to paint the picture in my mind of what really ended up happening here, Hybis is out picking flowers, doing some whatever. He sees an eye on the ground. He picks it, puts it on his belt buckle, and walks off saying, la-di-la-da-la, whatever.
That's essentially what happens, yeah.
Yeah. So that's the flashback of where this eye has been all this time. And Goku and company have finally beat all the foot soldiers, and they've arrived at the palace.
With
where
Pansy's
more foot
dad's
soldiers
help.
are there.
I don't know if
Yeah.
we added that. Pansy's dad comes and helps.
Oh yeah, the cavalry arrives, and Pansy's third world demon friends have come to help. Which honestly, it was a really much needed thing because at this point, you're right. There's an overwhelming number of these guys just everywhere.
Oh, and then the Ginyu Force.
Yeah, okay. We gotta talk about it, Frankie. We gotta talk about it.
Vegeta just beats them all up. Like he doesn't even care.
Vegeta just makes them like something. There's nothing to even talk about here.
Does.
Meanwhile, while this is all going on, a rando demon lady approaches Hibis, attempting to seduce him for the build. And Hibis, being, I think he's honestly gay, which is why he just said no to the lady's approach.
I'll give you my hat, though. I'll trade it for that hat.
So this lady's wearing a really ugly hat. Really ugly hat.
I thought it was Majin Buu in disguise for a minute. I won't lie to you.
Oh my god, Frankie. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're right. That could have been Majin Buu in disguise. Or it could have been Majin Buu in disguise. It could have been either one of them, honestly, because it's that ugly, bright, neon green colored hat. And Hibis decided, I want that hat more than I want this really cool eye belt buckle that I have. So he trades the belt for the hat. And he just goes on his way, not even knowing that he just gave over the most powerful artifact of all time.
He doesn't
to some
care.
rando. He doesn't care. He doesn't care at all. And so, at this point, all the foot soldiers are defeated thanks to a group effort of Kadon and Goku's groups. And now it's time for the final fight, or the beginning of it. Where
Yeah, we're leaning toward the final battle.
Yeah, we're getting closer to it, but we do have to take care of the discount bargain bin Ginyu Force.
Yeah, by that we mean Vegeta just beats them up.
Beats them up and moves on. Yeah,
like
that's it.
He doesn't even make... there's no effort put into it. He just beats them up casually.
He doesn't even go Super Saiyan. He doesn't even like... Okay, hang on, Frankie, before I say it. Did Vegeta actually use any Kai?
No, he just punched him and kicked him. He didn't use an energy blast once. He didn't care. He straight up just did not care.
He didn't care. He didn't. It was great.
It was so good.
It was. Yeah, so they defeat these discount bargain bin Ginyu Force things that
I hope they're not in Sparking Zero.
I would honestly laugh if they were, Frank.
The next 2 DLC packs are Daima related, so...
Okay, so we're gonna have one pack for you know what and you know
that's
what.
Gonna be the last. That's gonna be the second one. I guarantee it.
I'm guaranteeing you the 2 things you know what are gonna be the second DLC.
Oh, absolutely.
Now the first DLC.
They've only said Mini Vegeta and Glorio are in it, but
okay, good. Glorio is in it. Okay, good.
Glorio's in it. Mini Vegeta's in it, but that's all they've said so far. And like, if we go by the first DLC back to Superhero, there was like 11 characters in it.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway, they enter the castle. Goku, Vegeta, Saiyan, and Piccolo, because the rest of the group is outside, just battling any lingering foot soldiers that are coming their way. And they go inside. They find Dende, who's still a baby, and
I love Baby Dende.
Baby Dende is adorable. He is everything you'd ever want in a baby.
Yes.
So Pansy follows them without really telling them. Dagetsu is trying to escape on a sip with Dende in hand. And in an epic last-minute thing, Dende goes flying in the battle because Dagetsu lost his grip on the baby. And Pansy rescues him, which is another reason, Frankie, from the last podcast for why Pansy is the best girl.
She is. It's just an objective fact.
It is. No one can even come close to her. But yeah, so with Dende and Pansy's hands, they can confront Degasu, and Gloria appears, throwing Hibis's hat at him just because. Why not?
Because
and
they
that's how you
Hibis into the plot somehow.
And that's how you defeat Degetsu, is with that.
Degetsu is worthless.
He is. He really is. There's no point to him.
He really isn't.
And this episode basically ends with Goku's group with the 2 Dragon Balls, and a Rensu entering with her 2 Majin and the Dragon Ball in her position. And within the castle, the demon lady who got the eye for the hat gives the eye to Goma for all the treasure that she could ever want, and then helps Goma because Goma is so freaking weak, and removing the eye from the belt and inserting the eye into his forehead, causing him to grow in size.
Yeah, and turn into freaking Jiren.
Basically.
He looks just like Jiren.
Okay. Aesthetically, yes, but power-wise, no.
He's not even close to Jiren's level.
No, not even close. Not even close.
But he looks, aside from, he's Jiren with Goma's head. Tell me he's not just Jiren.
He is. He is.
he looks just like Jiren.
He really is.
It was bugging me. As soon as he transformed, I was like, are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah.
He looks just like Jiren.
So that was the end of episode 16. We're on episode 17 called Goma, which is very aptly named.
This one you've got, it starts with they make a Rinsu and Goku's group are like, hey, 1 versus 1, whoever wins gets the Dragon Balls. And it's Goku's turn to fight Majin Buu. If I'm honest with you, I think Goku would have ended up winning. Just saying.
Yes, I agree with you. But this one-on-one duel between Buu and Goku doesn't come to completion because Goma comes in. And Frankie, I'm going to try and paint a picture for the audience. And it'll basically be the Kool-Aid man knocking down a wall and coming in and saying, "Oh, yeah!"
Like every Family Guy bit ever.
And Goma just comes in and it's like, "Oh, yeah, let's go." And now the enemies have to team up to fight their common enemy,
including Tanagami number 1. Let me get that word out correctly.
Tamagami.
Yeah, Tamagami number 1 has to be like, or Neva's like, hey, you help too. It's okay, buddy.
Neva's like, hey, get in there. You're gonna help. Which at this point, you remember how in the last podcast, Frankie, I mentioned briefly that I have a hard time saying that anyone that's not named Goma is pure evil or pure good minus Pansy and the original Z Fighters, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is why. Because Neva, I can never tell. Is he team good guys? Is he team bad guys?
I think after what happens in the episode after this, which we're not talking about today, I think he leans one way.
Agreed. He leans more to the good side.
Yeah.
But, man, there are times where I'm just kind of wondering about him, if I'm being honest with you.
But the collective group of them cannot beat Jiren Goma.
No.
And so Goku's like, you know what? I'm going to go even further beyond. And he turned Super Saiyan 3.
Yeah.
And that's where we end off.
But this is where things get very interesting to me in terms of the battle. So, I have never seen Goku willingly say, let's all get in there and let's all fight. Like, he has never said, hey, Vegeta, hey, Piccolo, hey, everyone, let's get together and let's take him down together. It's never been that. It's always been, you guys stand back and let me kick ass and take names.
Now, I think that has a lot to do with the fact that he's in a child's body.
I think so, too.
I think episode 19 kind of confirms that. But we'll get that when we get to episode 19. That's the only reason I can think of is because he's like, I'm a kid. I am nowhere near as strong as I actually am supposed to be.
Yeah.
But he turned Super Saiyan 3, and, yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, this is the end of episode 17. we're not covering 18 and 19 here because we want to kind of wait. But yeah, so I'm gonna give my overall thoughts here real quick, Frankie, then you can go.
All right.
This group battle with Goku, Piccolo, Sin, Glorio, Tamagami, other
Vegeta.
friends, everyone kind of teaming up together to take on Goma. You can fight me on this, Frankie, but I think this is probably the best fight scene I've seen in a long time out of Dragon Ball.
It's definitely the best since Broly.
Yeah. But that was what, like 7-8 years ago?
2018? So yeah, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
It's been a while because Superhero, none of the fights in that compare to this. And I think
even the Jiren fight. Okay, so the Jiren Goku fight.
Which one?
The final one.
Oh, so Ultra Instinct. Okay.
Right. That fight was really good, right? But I think the animation here is much better.
Oh, Daima has way better animation, but as on a personal level, I prefer one-on-one Dragon Ball fights.
I do too, but I think just the fact that we have this group battle dynamic going on, I think that is very unique and makes me love it more because we don't see it very often.
No, I agree with you. I get that, but I don't think anything for me will ever top Goku versus Frieza.
Which time?
On Namek.
I think that's your fanboyness talking.
I mean, shut up.
I think that's just your fanboy talking. I know. I think the Frieza Goku fight there was really solid, but the combination of animation and fight choreography here, oof, that's some good stuff.
In terms of fight choreography and animation, like pure, I think the only one that beats it is Gogeta versus Broly in the Broly movie.
Agreed. But yeah, so at this point, I'm gonna give you my thoughts, Frankie, because whenever I got to this point, I knew the next episode was gonna have the thing that is the reason you and I are here right now.
This episode elevated it from a C to like an A for me. Like these last few episodes, like the final battle, makes up for all the filler bullcrap we've dealt with the last 10 episodes.
But also, if you really think about it, at this point we've had 17 episodes, right?
Yeah.
If I had to be honest, I would probably say we had 4 episodes of filler. And not even filler. Well, okay, like I'm gonna say we had like 1 pure episode of filler.
That giant episode was all filler, and you're not gonna convince me otherwise.
No. That's what I'm saying. We had 1 pure filler episode, and the rest of the other three that I'm talking about are kind of filler, but not really, because there is some lore building, there is some progression of the story and stuff. But
I'm looking at my Figuarts Dragon Ball shelf. I need to start getting the Daima figures.
Yeah, definitely. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is there is a little bit of filler throughout. There is some stuff that could have been tightened up a little bit. But for a 20-episode season, this is no real, like, problem to me to have a couple of things like that thrown in.
Yeah, this is basically the length of an arc.
Yeah. Because need I remind you, and I don't know if you've ever really watched it, how much filler did Naruto have? How much filler did Bleach have?
I've never watched Naruto.
I've watched Naruto the entirety of the first bit up until Shippuden. Didn't skip any filler. I watched 40 episodes of Shippuden, and there's Boku the filler throughout. Okay, like this is nothing. I'm not gonna even complain about the filler in this. I will complain about the giant episode because that was stupid. but I think everything else has been pretty good.
All right, I can buy that.
The only thing that I've just been sitting here trying to process has been the freaking Cyberman seed thing. I'm gonna keep going back to that throughout this thing. That creation of Dooku. Why did we need this? Who asked for this? But honestly, I'm very excited for Daima. I think it's going to end really solidly. It could leave the A tier and go to an S, but we need the finale to drop for that to happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's kind of where I am right now, Frank. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm about the same. The 2 episodes after this, though. Oh man. Woo.
Oh yeah.
Top tier.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we have run the course of this podcast. So, without further ado, I am Rizwan Merchant, and it's Frankie Hallsworth. We are Anime Declassified, presented by AnimeSecrets.org. And stay tuned next time for when we talk about the last couple of episodes of Dragon Ball Daima, where we're going to give our thoughts on episodes 18, 19, and 20, with a full breakdown of our overall thoughts of Dragon Ball Daima. But until then, keep on listening. Peace out.
Bye.
That was fun, Frankie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say we do the next 2, but dude, I'm getting kind of tired now.
No, it's all right. We'll just do the end game as one big one next week.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, we'll talk offline about it. We're still on stream right now, and Aka is trying to figure out if we're going to keep going or not. He doesn't understand that we're recording this live, so he's seeing the behind the scenes as well of what we do with podcast editing.
Fuck.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks to everyone who kind of came in and watched. Skyward to Dragon, I don't know if you're still around, but definitely love seeing my good friend from many years ago still supporting us on Twitch. I saw Miguel earlier on Twitch as well, checking us out. Thanks to everyone who's come in and listened to us. But I think we're going to end the stream here. And I'm going to go get some dinner and get ready for the next thing I have to do tonight.
I am going to play Sparking Zero some more.
You have fun with that. At some point, you and I got to go play some Sparking Zero together. Maybe do a live stream of that. Me playing Sparking Zero for the first time. Miguel, what do you think? He's watching right now, apparently. Aka, do you really want spoilers? I'll give you spoilers.
What kind of spoilers?
Yeah, Aka, I'll give you spoilers for the next podcast. In the next podcast, Goku turns Super Saiyan 4.
Why would...
He asked for spoilers.
I don't know if he meant for the Dragon Ball podcast or next one you're doing.
No, I know what he's asking me for. He wants to know what we're dropping on Tuesday. But I'm not telling him that.
Well.
He asked for spoilers. I give him spoilers. He can't tell me I didn't give him spoilers.
I miss my wife. I miss her a lot.
You don't have a wife.
She might as well be.
All right, we're taking this offline.
Yeah.
See y'all later, guys. Bye.